You turn my mourning into dancing. You turn my mourning into dancing. 'Cause your love changes everything. Your love changes everything. Oh, there's something about your love. Something about your love changes everything in my body. Oh, something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. It changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. Changes everything. Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything. You turn my mourning into dancing. 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 Something about your love. Something about your love changes everything.
Good morning, Firmly Rooted family. Pastor Tom, Firmly Rooted Ministries. It is 8:30. We are strengthening our roots. For anybody who might be new to Firmly Rooted, we're Firmly Rooted Ministries, Firmly Rooted Church. We firmly root ourselves in God's unconditional love and His eternal truth, believing that those were the two things that existed before sin. Those are the two things that are going to exist in a new heaven and a new earth. And it's the two things that have changed our lives in Jesus, and the two things that should motivate us to be changing other people's lives and go out fishing for men. So great to have all of you on board. We're going to be looking at a verse in James chapter 1, verse 19 and 20. Real wisdom in this verse, a verse that I probably memorized a long time ago, but didn't start trying to actually put into practice until much later, and never perfected. You know, we never perfect any of these things, but if we can just not only understand the wisdom of some of these verses, but actually begin to work at putting them to practice, it's just going to make some things better, right? I mean, at times it'll just make things better. And when we mess up, we repent, get back on our feet, and we get back running again. Let's say hi to a few people and we'll get to the devotion. Let me get past all my stuff where I say hi. Vivian Davis, good morning. Chuck B, good morning, family. I'm out there on X. Good morning, Bert Reggiani. Good morning. My sister's on X. Hey, Trish. Teresa Mason, good morning. Karen Thompson, good morning, as well as a number of others that are out there. Keep doing that share thing. Keep doing that reposting thing. I think it's having a great effect on Facebook and X, those platforms where you can share a post and send it out there again. All right, let me pull up this verse real quick, and we'll look at it, and then I'll get the verse back out, and we'll talk about it a bit. Know this, my beloved brothers and sisters, know this, hear this, listen to me. James is saying, James, Jesus' brother, who finally was converted to the faith, let every person be quick to hear, quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. For anger does not produce the righteousness of God. Be quick to listen. In an American society, even if we're not into an argument or into a fight, we've kind of trained ourselves to kind of half listen to somebody because I'm concentrating on what my next words are going to be because I'm assuming I know what yours are. And in a marriage relationship or in a relationship with a child or anybody that you want to have a serious relationship with, that can be dangerous because now you have two people assuming that they know what the other person is saying. They're only preparing their next statement. And matter of fact, they may be oblivious to what's really happening. Hence, arguments get created and people get angry, and people are getting angry because they're not heard. They're not being understood. And so now the voice gets elevated, things get louder, and there is some wisdom here in be quick to listen. And let me pull that verse out so you can see me more. There we go. So let's break it in pieces. Be quick to listen. Let's say you think you know the truth. Let's say you think you're right. Let's say all of these things. So what? It doesn't mean you have to be first. It doesn't mean you have to just sit. Just sit. What I see Jesus doing is not stepping in and correcting people, but the first thing he does is listen to them. Even if they're wrong, he wants to let them know they matter and that he lets them have a word and he lets them speak. Be quick to listen. I would add to that, once you've listened, make sure you've heard by repeating or asking another question. Don't jump to your opinion. Don't jump to your answer. Ask a question. Am I hearing you say this? Or I sense that this is what you're saying. The other person says, no. Yes, but no. And they go on to explain some more. And you're listening. So often, when someone does it this way, sometimes they never have to speak. Because all the person wanted to do is be understood and listened. There's no argument. There's no debate. The first reaction to get defensive is unnecessary. And maybe if you do speak, it's completely different than what you thought it was going to be because you finally heard what the other person was saying. Is this making sense? So all of a sudden, there is just this absolute wisdom that we should probably not assume that we know what the other person in front of us is thinking, feeling. No. And even if we did, how about let them know we care by actually listening to them, letting all the words come out. Ask questions. What does that mean? How do you feel about that? And all of a sudden, by asking questions, and you get deeper and deeper into an understanding. Listen to, maybe this phrase will help. Try to understand before you want to be understood. Try to understand before you want to be understood. We'll always get a chance to speak, but how about not first and not stepping over somebody, right? Slow it all down. That's why he says be slow to speak, be quick to listen and slow to speak. And then he says, watch out for anger, right? Let's pull that section up real quick so that you can see it. It says, slow to anger, for man's anger does not produce the righteousness of God. To be slow to anger. slow to speak, slow to anger. Be quiet and be settled. Listen to someone. Ask them questions. Make sure you understand that they've told you that you understand. Then make an intelligent, God-giving, truth in love statement and watch the conversation go. And oftentimes you may have to stop again. Slow down, don't get angry, ask some more questions. Maybe there's something you didn't understand, and then keep on going. This is something that I think American society, and certainly Christians in American society, really have to work on, because this is where we look like the rest of the world. We look just like them. Whether it's somebody blurbing something on Facebook, just having a tirade. What for? You know, I mentioned that understand before you're understood. Another phrase that I have been trying to repeat to myself for years is anger. Truth does not need any help. Truth is so powerful, it doesn't need help. I don't have to get loud. I don't have to cuss and scream. I don't have to do any of those things, because truth is truth. It levels the field. Once truth is spoken by anybody, it is boom. So there's no reason to get angry, elevated. Jesus just spoke the truth, and it penetrates. So just think about some of those things as we are trying to be quick to listen and slow to speak, and to make sure that our anger doesn't get out of control, right? Understand before you want to be understood. Truth is so powerful, it doesn't need our help. It doesn't need our anger. It doesn't need our agitation. It doesn't need our sarcasm. It doesn't need any of those things, which allows us to be peaceful and calm in any kind of conversation. And if it gets out of hand, someone be smart enough to stop it. Disengage, come back, apologize, and have the conversation again. Keep having the conversation in the right way. And what happens is we don't give the devil an opportunity. We rob him of the opportunity to kill, steal, and destroy. All right. I hope that makes sense. I hope that the devotion was a blessing to you. Have a great day. Make it a firmly rooted day, and may someone see Jesus in us today. Peace.